really, the point of my presentation today is finding the signal in the noise. There's so much noise in this space. What's really relevant and what's not relevant? So where's the data? Data is a really important thing. If you look at the IoT space, the latest statements say that data now is the world's most valuable resource, more than oil. So think about that. Oil was the most valuable resource up until about 2 years ago. Now it's data. So what does that mean? Where does the data come from? What do you do with it? But very similar to oil, data needs to be refined. Now, oil's been in business for a long time, a couple hundred years. Out of 55-gallon drum of oil, they make about 12 gallons of gas you could actually put in your car. They know where it goes. They know how to move it. They know how to drill for it. They know all sorts of things. But data, we really don't know what to do with it, or how to do anything with it, or how to move it, or what does it even mean, and actually how much can you put in your automobile and do something about. And the reason for that is similar to oil, data comes out in a crude format. So think of crude oil. There's also what's called crude data. And why do I call it crude? Because data is put in basically two buckets. You have good data and you have bad data. So bad data is not a good thing, and good data is good. But it's really difficult to tell the difference between good data and bad data because there's so much noise in the space. So how do you break through the noise? Because it's really important for this whole industry to work is to have good data that is easy to move, it's actionable, and it's reliable. So what do we want to do? Everybody, this whole ecosystem works on if you make good decisions from facts. So everyone wants to make fact-based decisions from good data. But what is the good data? And that's the real issue, because in reality, there are bad facts. And if you make decisions off bad facts, sometimes you have bad results. Let's talk about the new wave of data. And this is really important. And things you really should know. Thermal imaging. And that's what I'm talking about today a little bit. We're from Seek Thermal. Our booth's right behind you. After this, feel free to get up, go look at the technology. We have a white paper we just published today on what I'm talking about. But thermal imaging is a really fascinating technology that produces amazingly good data that's easy to get, easy to move, very accurate, and very actionable. But where does it come from? So thermal imaging used to be unattainable. It used to cost $300,000 for a sensor. It's used for things like the Patriot missile that shoots down other missiles when they're coming at you. It's important to have good data when you're trying to shoot down a missile. Well, it's also very important to have good data when you're trying to, I don't know, save your factory from blowing up. All this stuff is very, very relevant. But over the last, let's call it 30 years, thermal imaging has come from $300,000 to $50,000 to $10,000. Now it's less than maybe $500 down to $200 you could find thermal imaging. And we're really leading the push on that. So what is thermal imaging? Well, what thermal imaging does, as you can see on the left, it's a photograph of someone's hand. It takes the data from that hand, the heat signature, and it turns into a bunch of data, as you see in the center. That data, heat signatures, could be turned into images, but the most important thing is in the center there. That data is showing you exactly what's going on with that space, and you can start to make decisions based on that, not just human-based decisions, but machine-based decisions that'll help you make a lot save a lot of money and do a lot of things. I'll just show you a few examples. Here's a few examples of things that may be in a factory, maybe around your home. I don't know, electrical meters, air conditioning motors, pumps, electrical connections. Well, if you look at all these, you can say, yeah, these all look good. I'm okay. We're safe, right? But if you actually start looking at what the thermal data tells you, you may not be so sure of how safe you are. You can see electrical panels in the upper left-hand corner that are overheating, may start a fire. You see on the bottom left-hand corner your air conditioning motor is about to go. I mean, this could be air conditioning motors for this entire building. If those all went, maybe not on a day like today, that could be a big issue. You see on the upper right-hand corner, you see what it looks like in visual. That could be a pump for an entire building. Is it going to blow up? Is it not going to blow up? You don't know. But with thermal data, you know in real time all the time. The bottom picture is a circuit. Is that electrical circuit going to set my building on fire? Well, with thermal imaging, you know the answer to that. But it's not just in buildings, it's also available in autonomous driving cars. As you can see here, if you put a few sensors on a car, no matter day or night, because ambient light's not relevant in thermal imaging, you know if there's a pedestrian, if there's another car, a person on a bicycle. You could use this to make good data. You need good data for autonomous driving, or any type of driving actually, so you don't run into people, you don't damage your car and your own personal health and safety. So good data is a super important thing, and thermal imaging is a really good provider of such good data. This next picture is not going to show very well, it shows on my screen better. This is an actual picture taken from an electrical substation, and it actually has a bunch of high voltage wires coming in. Can anyone in this room guess which one is going to be an issue? So this is taken with a thermal imaging camera late at night. You can see exactly which connector may cause an issue. Another example of that this is taken from the top of a large building, air conditioning units. You want to know the motor, which one's going to fail, which not. Well, you can see right here, there's an alarm could be set off at 225 degrees, knowing that motor and that fan is about to fail. You could roll a truck, have someone repair that, do predictive preventative maintenance before it becomes an issue, save money, save time, save lives. It's very important. Here's another circuit. Does all these look okay to you guys? I don't know. All the data's going, everything's working out. But if you do a full thermal scan, you can see that there's a part up there that is about to fail. Once that fails, data doesn't get transmitted, systems go down, networks fail. So in the IoT space, it's really important to understand how do you do predictive preventative maintenance, how do you save time, how do you save money, and how do you improve the health and safety of the people around you. But getting back to my initial point, man, IoT devices are really exploding. By 2019, they say there's going to be 35 billion sources of data in the marketplace. 35 billion sources of data, which is kind of crazy. So I mean, if we think there's a lot of noise now, imagine how much noise is going to be in this space with 35 billion devices producing data. It's going to be kind of scary. So the important thing that we must do is really hold each other accountable on producing good data that's actionable, reliable, easy to transmit, and is economical as well. So, I mean, the point I was trying to make is, we really find the signal in the noise, and that's the big takeaway I want you guys to have from the presentation today, because really we're either living or we're evolving into a world of absolute infinite data, and the best and most predictive data sets are rare and hidden in the noise, and that's a real big issue. So thermal monitoring provides a clear signal that will help you achieve a level of automation, reliability, and efficiency to propel your business forward by reducing the things that are the most important is cost, time, and workplace injuries. So I'm from Seek Thermal, our booth's right across there. We have a new white paper we have today. Stop by, see a demonstration, learn about thermal imaging and how it could affect the world and your space. So, thank you.